We are continuing our conversation about the newest national holiday, Juneteenth. We are joined by TV host, entrepreneur, and founder of Tai Media. Yes, Tai Beauchamp. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hey.
Such a privilege having you here. And I know you've been listening to our conversation, and I want to get your take. Why, Tai, is Juneteenth important to you specifically?
Such a great question. And I'm so grateful to be here with all of you. So thank you for having me, and just the importance of this conversation on platforms like this. The reality is that Juneteenth is important to me because of the work that Miss Opal Lee has done and the foundation that she has laid to bring awareness, consciousness, and understanding to what we've experienced as Black people here in America. I heard my auntie Shirley Ralph speak earlier so eloquently. And I do call her my auntie. She and I have a very, very close relationship. But it's so important that we are here to celebrate and acknowledge the history of America and how it has impacted Black Americans historically. And it is a time to celebrate. So I'm excited and looking forward to celebrating in my own way, but also hoping and praying that, we really do the work to change the legacy in action, right, of what this means for the future of Black Americans and all Americans, and understanding that racial inequities and disparities still exist, quite frankly.
Tai, sis, thank you for being here today. Let's talk about the work, because there are bills in 21 states that would limit teaching about critical race theory. So if they pass, it could make it difficult for teachers to explain to children why they get the day off. So what is your response to that?
Unacceptable. I think the response is very simple. And I come from a family of educators hailing from New Jersey. And I think, to have the day without being intentional about how we educate, especially young minds, to understand the importance of the day, so that way we can ensure that the belief systems, the values that we know still exist here in America, quite frankly, won't perpetuate. So we have to be willing to educate young people. So I think it's imperative that these bills are passed where young people can learn why we have Juneteenth. It's important.
All right, well, we're going to switch gears a little bit. I want to keep this real. I want to keep it personal to myself. I am still kind of trying to figure out how I want to celebrate this holiday. So I want to ask you, how do you celebrate this holiday? And then I'm going to steal that answer and tell my kids.
It's terrible.
It's going to take it from me. Listen, I'm still thinking about it, quite frankly. And as an entrepreneur, I actually have two businesses. And, as someone who is all about sharing information, I think the best way to celebrate is to have conversations. I think that is probably the best way to celebrate. And of course, let's see, I'll call my aunties too. That's also what I'm going to do. I'm going to call my aunties.
Conversation and aunties.
Yeah, I want to ask a question really quickly. You were saying maybe go to a business, and you said you're an entrepreneur of two businesses. So maybe if I could get the names of those, maybe I could do the same thing.
Oh, so my first business is Tai Media, and then I am also the co-founder in a plant-based wellness company called Brown Girl Jane. And Brown Girl Jane centers wellness to support, and actually we founded it on the principle of supporting health and wellness for Black women, because we were so X'd out of that conversation. Yep. And so I think Juneteenth actually means a lot to us in the way of just bringing consciousness to who we are as Black women.
Awesome.
All right, so I am a white ally who considered herself extremely well educated and rounded. Oh, sorry for the right camera. And I didn't know about Juneteenth, and I want to be super clear about that. And that's a huge hole in my education. In Germany, they are finding a lot of people and kids, teenagers, didn't know about the Holocaust anymore in Berlin. So they've implemented mandatory teachings about what happened so that those people can actually learn from their history. Don't you think that should be part of that? And what do you recommend people do on their own to honor the day? I know you said conversations, but is there a way do I party? Am I quiet? I just want to know the appropriate feeling as an ally.
I appreciate that. And I think allyship is a first step, and then it's advocacy, right? I think it's about how we stand with one another, how we stand for one another. So in this example of what has happened in Germany around young people not knowing the history of the Holocaust is deplorable. The same way that here in the United States, if this bill is not passed, and it would be deplorable for young people to not understand why Juneteenth exists.
Right.
So I think it's important that we have conversations. I think it's also important that we have conversations across racial lines. It's
right.
important that you speak to your neighbors, help them to understand and say, well, here's my position on it. I think it starts with conversations. The other truth of the matter is, as a Black woman entrepreneur, like I said, the disparities still exist. So I don't want to celebrate prematurely.
We've run out of time. We appreciate you so much. We got to have you back on.
Great.
Thank you. Happy Juneteenth to you.
I look forward to it. Thank you all. Happy Juneteenth to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us here on DBL. We'll be right back.